Councillor Gardner raised a very interesting point that has troubled me since I sat down to review the agenda, and that is two of the most contentious issues that came before this council with regards to the previous agreement, or the current agreement, I guess we'll call it, that of council representation on the Aurora Cultural Centre Board, and that of the Cultural Centre Board coming to council to request funding each year. In presentations to council, certainly in emails, discussions, that was not clear to me, is not clear to me, that is a position that a majority of the community agrees with. Obviously, I'm talking to a different group of people than Councillor Buck is, but most of them are very concerned. So, Mr. Mayor, you had said that the Aurora Cultural Centre agreed to these two options right off the bat. I had hoped that we would have open and transparent discussion and debate around these two issues, because I think they're critically important to the long-term success of this organization. You know, at our February the 28th meeting, I listed a number of reasons why having councillors on the Cultural Centre Board may not be a good idea. But if we go ahead with it, I'm not so sure. I'm still sure that it may not be a good thing. I was hoping we would have a legal opinion telling us that it would not change the tax status of this organization and make it lose its charitable status, for example. I don't see any of that in front of me, and yet we have an agreement, apparently of both sides, that's okay. But when I get into the documents, I see that the Cultural Centre still needs to look into that. So I am concerned, and I know that a number of councillors were vocal about those 2 points, and I recognize that. But at no time did we give yourself or staff direction to negotiate that at this point in time. I don't believe we did in any clear manner give the mayor or staff clear direction through a motion to pursue those two issues other than at the negotiating table. So I want some assurances, quite frankly, that the Aurora Cultural Centre, given its reticence early on to these 2 points, was not, we'll say, how do I put this politely, unduly influenced or pressured to make those 2 points agreed to at this point. Can I have your assurance that they were not pressured to do that they came to the agreement to include these 2 points in this willingly?
I don't believe that that's an appropriate question, sir.
Well, I believe it is. I've asked it. I want to know whether or not, how did we get to having these 2 points included? Because they clearly didn't want them all along, and then suddenly they're in.
Well, they are in the Novita report, if you recall reading that.
I've read it many, many times.
Then you'll agree with it.
No, what I'm telling you is
that
the mayor and staff who set these terms of references up did not have any direction from us to include those right up front. They were part of what was to be negotiated. They were identified in the Maher report, and I'm concerned. How did they suddenly get in? The 2 most contentious points.
I'll quote from Mr. Garby's report. The Board of Directors approves the term of reference for the ad hoc committee. They have approved it. They didn't have to approve it.
Well, they didn't have to approve it, and I'm obviously not going to get any assurances that there was no undue pressure applied, but I have my concerns.
I've also stopped beating my wife. Councillor Gallo.